I feel like a lot of men don't know how to dress. And one thing that Ralph Lauren, Tommy, they did for people who did not know how to dress, whenever you went into the department stores, you would see the multiple mannequins to let you know, hey, dummy, this shirt goes with these pants.
You are now listening to the thoughts and sounds of IC the God King. This is the IC Experience.
You could always fall back on polo.
Right.
You could always fall back on polo, and you wouldn't. It's not as Gucci,
right?
You know, but it's still going to be respected.
Right.
You can still come in, and like you pointed out to me, in Florida, they have the quality of the shirts will be really good. They'll last years if you treat them right, and they had a variety of colors too. They had so many colors, and all the Florida niggas love loud colors.
Love the colors.
Yeah, and another thing I noticed, and I've told this to you, I feel like a lot of men don't know how to dress. And one thing that Ralph Lauren, Tommy, they did for people who did not know how to dress, whenever you went into the department stores, you would see the multiple mannequins to let you know, hey, dummy, this shirt goes with these pants. This shirt goes with these shorts. Hey, this hat also goes with this whole outfit. So it took the guesswork out of people.
Yeah.
And they could just be like, oh, y'all get off and kill them.
Right. Because they even put it on the sales floor. Like, I was just in the polo store, and they had a matching hoodie with the shorts. It's right there. It's on the mannequin, and then on the shelf they right there next to each other.
Right.
And then so I saw some other shorts, and I said, "You got some hoodies to go with these shorts?" And she said, "No, but we have these shirts right here.
Right.
I got the same color polo to match that polo." So now you even know to make the polo the same color, so that you know, because you know we ain't trying. It ain't gonna go with the polos.
Yeah.
You know, the polo man different colors. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, they're good about that, man.
Now, and what happened was when it transitioned over to the urban thing, the urban people didn't really have, hey, this go with this. Because now where you could go get a polo, hat, underwear, tank top, shirt, socks, pants or shorts, now you going to a place that, hey, we got the FUBU Platinum denim jacket, but we ain't get the pants. So now you got to use your wherewithal and your training if you had any. Like I had you and Jai. So I learned, I was ahead of the curve, you know, in the 90s.
Right.
But the average person did not have that. So most people will be going into Marshalls or TJ Maxx, and it's 100 racks, and you, oh, this, okay, what am I wearing with this?
Right.
And so now that's why we're seeing the people be like, so their safe place is polo.
Right.
You have a nice polo on with some jeans.
Right.
Like the young lady pointed out, they got the starch in the middle, the starch line and stuff. That's the safe place, because there hasn't, unless you're not hanging with people who know how to dress and designers, you're not gonna know.
Right.
You're gonna be wearing anything, because it went from a prep look to an urban explosion, and now people are it's like shit.
I don't know what to wear.
Right, exactly.
Right. And I don't want to dress like the young kids, but you know, I don't know how to dress my age appropriate, but still express, you know, my style without, you know.
And you're right, because in the 80s, all the adults was wearing slacks and button-up shirts.
Right.
As a casual kind of thing. And that's how you could identify, oh, this is an older person. But now, like, Diddy's in his 50s. You know, he does a good job of going from suits to urban wear or casual wear.
Right. Yeah, he does.
And you know, certain older guys, they do a good job of doing that. You know, and let's not forget the white tee stage. Remember the white tee stage? The shit was 3 times too big down to your knees.
Right.
So like that was a part of the urban thing, and then that's when like all the Arabs came into the community too, and they was like, you can go to the gas station and get a white tee.
Right.
You know, so you know, like nobody's really kind of been spearheading, hey y'all, this is how you need to dress, because like we went from growing up seeing Bill Cosby wearing suits and Coogee sweaters all the time. He looked older to now the older 40, 30-year-old could be dressing the same as a 20-year-old.
Right. Yep. And even more eccentric than a 20-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the 20-year-olds, they most of the time they got on Crocs and sweatpants and some hoodie most of the time.
Yeah, right now I feel like the youth, they don't know how to dress at all. They got like a grunge look, and now they done brought back in the bell-bottom baggy clothes. What do you think?
They're
more focused on being comfortable.
Their focus is definitely on comfortability. But I think, you know, for the most part, it's jeans and t-shirts. You know, that's pretty much it for the most part. Now, on the more extreme end, on what we see kind of represented as the ideal on social media, I think is a lot more extreme than most of what I've seen kids actually wearing.
Elaborate what you mean.
It's like you said, the baggy pants is a thing, right? But it's not really. Like a lot of the younger kids, for the most part, because you got to think about it, like, right? With these trends in fashion, you have to be able to afford to keep up with them. And right now, fashion is changing at a higher rate. Kids can't necessarily afford to go out and experiment with some baggy jeans that might feel kind of goofy, because if you get the baggy jeans, you got to get the baggy shirt to go with it. Right. You need them big goofy shoes to go with it. You know, so you need things to complete the whole look. Yeah. That you know, these kids can't necessarily keep up with financially. You know. Right.
So basically, it's funny because the kids that are calling out the unks or the older class, they don't know how to dress at all to me. So
right.
That's the irony in this whole thing.
But that's the thing about it. Is like this is the opinion coming from people who don't work and ain't out here, you know, ain't got nothing going on, trying to make nothing happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, because you know, anybody who is moving with intention, if you have some kind of profession that you're in, at some point your dress has to represent that. You know. Even when I was younger, I like to dress older sometimes. Yeah. You know, I like to exude a aura of maturity. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's it's good to be able to transition into that and understand and appreciate a suit. Yeah. Right. Not feel like, you know, I think, because when I was younger, it was like you put on a suit and it's like, yeah, you look good in a suit, but it wasn't like, oh, you look good in that suit. You know what I mean? You killing it, you know, and that's what a real suit is going to do for you. Yeah. That's what it should do for you when you put those clothes on, you know? Yeah. So it's I think, you know, the kids got to tap into that, and eventually it will. But, you know, honestly, it's like with the way things are now, it's not like it was when we were coming up and you had to have a job. You can make money without having a job. You can drive Uber. You can wear whatever you want almost. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like,
you know, it was a thing when I was working. People was ashamed to have tattoos. Now that's over.
Right. Tattoos are like the norm now. You know what I mean?
I went into an interview about 5 years ago, and I wore a suit, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, he went above and beyond." Right. And I was like, "Damn, people don't wear suits anymore to interviews." Right. So yeah, you're right.
Well, yeah, and really that's a suit. That's a secret. Yeah. Right. That's a tip. That's an edge up on everybody else to know that, okay, yeah, people really don't wear suits. So if I want to stand out amongst the crowd, if I want to make a great first impression, you know, if I want to exude the aura of authority, you know, in a certain space, wearing a suit can easily accomplish that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Can easily accomplish that. So
now, speaking of suits, this is a good segue. Me and you was talking about our good brother, brother Cameron, right, up in New York. What's the name of the show? It Is What It Is, right?
Yeah.
It Is What It Is. And I will be honest, I never sat and watched a full podcast. I only see the clips.
Okay.
and me and you was talking on the phone, and I remember Cameron. He was one of my favorite New York, still is one of my favorite New York people I like to watch, and he was killing it with it. You know, he was kind of like a fashionable Gucci man to me of the New York people. I don't know if I'm making that.
A fashionable Gucci man.
Yeah, because he was like a hood nigga, but he would pull up in some pink shit and people be like,
oh,
damn.
okay, you saying Gucci man now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see
you know,
what you're saying.
and but now it's interesting when I watch clips of the show, it seemed like he didn't transition well into what he'd be wearing on the show now.